5:30, so we'll call together our meeting of the Airport Advisory Committee. We'll start off with our Pledge of Allegiance. Carl, will you lead us off?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call. Jack Gainey, Chair, present. Carl Rigg, present. Josh Sterling, present. And Mike Pemberton, present. Any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
No.
No? All right. So that's an approval of the agenda. Any extra presentations besides what we have on here?
None.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. Approval of minutes. Janelle, we have our meeting minutes from the last time. I think I need to submit those to you as a Word document. If I send that to you later, would that be acceptable?
Well, we would have to put it on the next agenda, which we could do.
Okay. So then we'll just table that for our next time then.
Sounds great.
Send that to you as a Word doc.
Yep.
Action items. We have no action items from our last meeting. And so with that, let's move into our discussion items. And we have 9 items here. So number 1, budget review and discussion. I think our most of interest on this was discussing, I know there's been a number of requests for some large budgetary items. Mike, maybe if you want to kind of dive into this. I think you had some thoughts on this.
Yes, and I don't know what the exact number is or the figure associated with it, but it was with the rec center roof. I know that, and I know there's a certain amount of funds that we have in the reserves right now for the airport. And so really that kind of gets into what I wanted to discuss as the number 2 discussion item.
The T-hanger maintenance?
The T-hanger maintenance. But
Okay.
So I guess without the background or without knowing exactly where we're at with the potential spending on the roof, I don't know what that means in terms of what's going to come out of the budget potentially. And then I guess then we could have that discussion first and then get into the T-hanger maintenance. So I don't know, is there any update on anything that's going to impact the budget as far as major spending items?
Not at this time. If you guys tune in to the Commerce Park meeting, which are on YouTube and they're live, you can see them on Facebook. So when you have opportunities to watch those, we do address that. So currently the budget for the roof for Island Athletics came in way over what we had budgeted for that particular replacement. So currently it's tabled. We don't know what we're going to do.
Okay. I did attend the last meeting. I didn't hear it discussed in that one.
It was the meeting before.
Meeting before, okay.
Yep.
Was there, so the amount that was budgeted, that I understand that the quotes came back high, but what was the amount budgeted or expected?
It was under 5 was expected.
Okay.
It came in at like 750. So extensive.
And so would the airport, if it had come in under 5, would it have been funded and taken out of the account at that amount?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about that? About the roof or the budget?
No questions, maybe only a comment. You know, I think in our discussions, I think again with a number of capital maintenance items, and we'll discuss that, I think it's the opinion of the AAC that right now the focus for funds of that nature should be addressed towards airport and aviation related items. That should be the priority. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of capital improvement going on with the Taxiway Alpha improvement and things of that nature. But again, anything that large, I think our recommendation would be, again, focusing on aviation and safety critical items.
Anything else on that? Anybody?
Not from me.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Do you want to move on to number 2?
Yeah, let's move on to number 2, the T-hanger maintenance and asset management plan. Mike, I know, again, you have some thoughts on that if you'd lead us off.
So I think it's common knowledge to everybody here at this meeting that it's been a long time since any kind of corrosion control or paint has been applied to these hangars. Some of them quite a lot worse than others, but some of them have corrosion going up the bottoms of the doors pretty high. And I know that there's been some exploration as far as what it would cost in terms of putting to do that sort of maintenance, corrosion control, and painting. But I think that's a high priority project that should be done relatively soon to prevent continued degradation of the hangars. And then also with that, when talking about the hangars and maintenance, the motors that are used to power the doors up and down, I think that we need to start paying attention to some of them. Some of them are pretty bad in terms of how they operate and sound like they need some maintenance. And so my recommendation would be to have them all looked at and assessed in terms of their operation, and then explore how much it's going to cost to start either replacing or repairing some of these motors and put them on a schedule to either be maintenance or replaced.
Mike,
And I see that.
So are you in a newer hangar? Or are you in the older?
One of the newer ones.
Have you noticed any motors on the newer ones? Just want to ask the question.
No,
Okay.
my, like for my hangar, I know that the motor works pretty well. The door does make a lot of noise going up and down, but it seems like the motor works
Okay.
fine.
I think you gave a good point there, Janelle. Like you said, I think the problems probably generally track with the age of the motors and the age of the hangars, but I think, yeah, you're right there.
Yep.
Is there a budget set already for this, or is there not a budget?
For motors,
No, for general maintenance of the hangars.
well, there's a budget set for general maintenance, but I mean, we're looking at corrosion control for painting of the T
Well,
hangars. We're
what
gonna
I'm
have to
Basically
look
driving
into
at,
that.
that's not detailed for the hangars, it's detailed for the airport. I'm just wondering if the hangar would be separated so that we know that some of this work is being budgeted or set up for a budget to be able to be having funds to repair these things.
Yeah, we can look into that.
One other thing to mention with regard to the T hangars, and not a big issue in some of the hangars I've seen in Charlie Row, but some of the other hangars I know have some pretty significant concrete and drainage issues, and could probably use either new concrete or maybe concrete and a seal on the bottom of the door, because water will come back in during major rain events or snow melt and sit in the hangars.
On that, it could even potentially concrete leveling in some of those might work if it was at one point draining appropriately. Then might be a cheap, easy fix, case by case.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I'm gonna ask the question, do you know if it's in the newer hangars as well as the old hangars?
I do know that it's an issue in Bravo Row.
It is an issue in Bravo, but those are older.
Yep.
I guess
And it's
I
an
can
issue in
speak to-
Alpha.
Yeah, in general, the water intrusion it's mixed. That doesn't necessarily track with the age, whether it's a new hangar, old hangar, right?
Okay.
I think generally that tracks whether that water ingress is underneath the seal,
Yeah.
between hangars, as a pond, et cetera, under doors, et cetera. I think it's more of a hangar by hangar basis and less age, and just, how well it's maybe been maintained each hangar. Some are in lower spots than others, so I think that's more of a mixed and doesn't necessarily track with age.
That's right. Anyone else on hangar maintenance? So I think, Carl, you mentioned allocating or looking at
Yeah,
allocating
we have a
some
budget,
funds.
because I'm seeing money probably budgeted for maintenance, but it's not defined for what kind of maintenance. The hangars, runway, that kind of stuff. Just not putting it into a whole block.
No, I agree with you, Mike. I think that's one of the things of the AAC that we really want to see. Again, like you said, what's the holistic improvement plan for the T hangars? And obviously, how do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? But I think one of the things that I'd like to recommend is, I know Janelle, over the years, there's surveys that happen for the hangars. What's their general condition of, be it, like you said, Mike, motor age, seals, waterproofing, things of that nature. I think a good thing would be is just kind of what's that 30,000 foot view of the hangars, maintenance, corrosion, electrical, those types of things. I think we really need to, try and get our arms around that, right? Get the data and let the data drive and tell us what we need to do. And I know, Janelle, you, again, previously under, Mike Ducker, et cetera, I know there had been sometimes, engineering surveys done, et cetera. And I don't know if any of that data exists. If it does, great. But, it's already getting old and out of date. But if not, I think, and Josh, you maintain a lot of properties. I don't know how we go about doing that if you have recommendations, but just, again, cataloging and taking stock of what we have there.
Yeah, even if we've got old data, it would be 2+ years old now, so a lot of things
hasn't gotten better.
can change. Yeah, definitely not on its own. No, I think you're right. I think you'd have to start with an overall general survey and at least identify the largest or the safety issues and address those in a priority order.
Understand?
All right.
Thanks. Janelle, so I understand we have new staff for the FBO and DRC Cleaning. I'm going to say on that one, and I'll steal some thunder if you don't mind. I've seen the DRC Cleaning over at the Hangar 2 FBO, and it shows. It looks very nice. I've seen them in there. Very nice staff. It shows. It looks very nice, very friendly when you go in there. So sorry to steal your thunder on that one, but kudos.
So they're there Monday, Wednesday, Friday is their cleaning. And then we had a new gentleman start last week. His name is Connor London. So now the FBO will be staffed Monday through Friday. Operational hours are 9 to 5, 10 to 6, kind of depending on what's going on. So that's an update on that.
Yeah, I think when this had come up to be added to the agenda, I don't think we had found that person just yet. I know we've been definitely short-staffed there for a while. I've always believed that it should be, and I think you guys will hopefully agree here with me, that we need consistency there. What I've seen a lot in the past is, either we're short and there's a day that someone's not there, several days in a row, or the hours of operation are not really known. And so, I think my recommendation would be a very consistent schedule. If that's going to be 9 to 5, that's great. Or if that's going to be 10 to 6, so that everyone knows, both, outside pilots flying into here, local pilots, whatnot, the more consistent, the better, in my opinion.
I think you're right there. Yeah, like you said, it's, again, for transient pilots, folks that are looking to transient into Grozio that fly up here regularly, knowing what the hours of operation. Yeah, like you said, okay, I can get this service at 9 to 5. It makes Grozio that much more attractive, right? Because we are competing against the Monroes and, Detroit City. So, again, having that, right, we want to make Grozio the destination.
And then also making sure that it's in the chart supplement, that it gets updated, that it's in ForeFlight. So pilots that are planning, like myself, I always look at the hours and stuff like that before I leave. I go into ForeFlight and look for that. SkyVector, some people use, but just making sure that it gets out that this is our schedule.
On that point, and I don't mind, maybe that's something that we could take on to, Janelle, I don't know if you go in and you do that and, like the AV flight, the ForeFlight, if you're updating that. If not, I think that's something that we can make you aware of because, again, GA pilots, that's our first source, right? When we're going to say, hey, I'm coming up from the Carolinas as an example, and I'm going to be coming up to Detroit. Where do I want to get that information? Probably 75% plus are using one of those sites. So if you are, great. If not, we'll take on to help you out with that, share with you, hey, here's some of the tools that the GA community uses a lot.
Yep, I think that was one of the discussions in the hiring process that we had a conversation with the FBO would take on that responsibility.
Okay.
As long and now that we're just gonna kind of, as well as helping keep our new website up and running and dated too. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance, but that finally got launched like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So we're kind of working out some of those kinks and keeping everything up to date. And hours of operations is one of them. We're kind of doing a trial and error. Is it better for them to be there at 9 or is it better to be there at 10?
And is there a phone number associated so that in the event somebody does come in or they're coming in after hours, they can call somebody and coordinate?
There is,
Okay.
which will be forwarded to the staff of the FBO. So
Okay.
we're working out all of those logistics.
All right.
All right. Number 4, nighttime approaches and tree obstruction. I know we've been discussing this one for a while, working on it. There's a lot going on in this. Just Janelle, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us any updates that you can on that, just if you've had any luck or progress on tackling that.
So really quickly, once again, a couple of trees in private owners, a little bit delicate situation. So we're taking the least aggressive approach. So it's a delicate situation. We understand the urgency and the safety hazards with it, but it's a work in progress. Definitely something I'm aware of.
Are those the same trees at the 2-2 end? Okay. All right.
Is there any data that you need from the AAC to help you out with that, or?
Not at this time. I was working with the FAA at this time to try to figure out the lat longs and height
Okay.
on those. So
What's the timetable on that? What kind of schedule do you think?
I understand the urgency, so it'll be as fast as I can handle it. I don't have a time frame.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, I thought I said.
I don't have anything more on
Okay,
that.
thanks, Janelle. Number 5, moving to AAC vacancy. Just wanted to point out that we do have a vacancy for the Airport Advisory Committee that we've been looking to fill. A few individuals have been reached out to. Some had expressed a desire but then decided not to. My understanding is that we very recently had one application submitted for an individual that we need to review. And we're still soliciting to see if there's any other folks from the community, the aviation community especially. Right, obviously they need to be a resident of Grosse-Ile, but we want someone who's active in the airport community here at Grosse-Ile to understand the problems. So I don't think we're looking to make necessarily a vote tonight, but again, just to kind of make aware for everyone that we do have a vacancy, and we're soliciting. So again, if any of you gentlemen or Janelle, you know anyone who's an active member of the community, a Grosse-Ile resident that would be interested,
Okay.
share. Number 6, this is one that's kind of again important to me. Wanted to kind of discuss airport master plan. Obviously, with something as complex as Grosse-Ile, and Janelle, you could probably say what's the size of Grosse-Ile, how many acres it is, how many buildings. It's daunting number. I think it's very critical, right, that we have somewhat of a master plan to decide, hey, where are we going in the next year, the next 5 years, 10 years, et cetera, right? Not just with the businesses, but the capital improvements, et cetera. I guess I'm just looking to see, Janelle, do you know if we have anything that's current? Is it being worked on, et cetera? An airport master plan. I know they've existed in the past.
The last airport master plan was from 2006. So that was the last update. I do know that the township is working on a updated master plan, and we do have a section in that. We just hired, the township did. The Smith Group, I think, is who they hired for the master plan.
For the township or for the airport?
For the township, but there is a section in their master plan that is addressing the airport master plan.
CNS still involved in that or not?
CNS did our master plan in 2006, so
That's for the airport.
that's for the airport, not the
And
township.
there's no talk about that part being updated now that we've got the new taxiway?
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. Do you have a?
So I guess, if the one's being done for the, township, and obviously, understanding from that, right, where the airport fits into it, I think it's critical that we look to have one, for the airport itself, right? And that's got to be part of the township, where it fits in there, serving the needs of the township and downriver. Josh, you yourself have spoken a lot about that, of, again, what this airport can be, whether it's providing charter services, flight training, emergency services, things of that nature, and again, making sure that, hey, we have the facilities for that and where we can grow here. I mean, Grosse-Ile is competing, obviously, against other airfields, et cetera. We're uniquely positioned to compete and win but I think we kind of need to know a little bit as an airport, where do we want to go and how do we get there? And obviously, right, that's not a 1-year plan, it's not a 5-year plan, it's,
More like
right,
20.
right. So, I guess, I'd like to maybe, learn a little bit more what the township is doing for its master plan, how the airport can factor into that, but I guess I would very strongly recommend that the airport look to develop its own master plan for ourselves. And yes, that fits in as part of the township plan, but I think we need to say, where do we want this airport to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, I agree. Janelle, I think you said the township master plan was in progress now. Is there a timeline on that, or?
They said 12 months.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, it might be interesting to see that, and then
I don't know
from
when
there, how
it-
involved that is regarding the
If you
airport.
want to look on, I would go to their webpage and see if it's on their webpage. They have, they're going to have public meetings on that too. I don't know what that, I don't even know if they have the schedule for that yet. It was discussed in the last board meeting. Well, not the last one, but anyways, a few board meetings ago.
Okay.
I saw it on there.
But I think you're right, Josh. I mean, I think we'd like to understand, and I might reach out, to some of the township leadership on this one, and with you too, Janelle, just to kind of see, hey, what can you share with us for where the airport fits into this? But again, it's sort of a hand in glove. I think the airport needs its own, obviously guided by what the township, where it sees the airport going to be. But
Well, the airport has its own. It's older, but it's not that old.
2006, yeah. I mean, right. I mean, I would agree, but I think we need to put in there, right? At that time, 2006, 1735 was a functioning runway. Now that's an aspiration for us to be a functioning runway again, right? And so looking at it from that perspective of that reality.
Well, I think that there's one thing to just, I'm going to put it out there, is it's both sides, airport and the Commerce Park, right? So it's an overall view of both functioning
Right.
parts, right?
And then, so that's the same thing, right? Obviously with the Commerce Park within the same thing, how do they see the Commerce Park with that, supporting and fitting in, again, and with the airport? So that's where certainly I, as the, chair, I can reach out, and work with our friends on the Airport and Commerce Park Commission. But I think that's really critical to say, right, what's our roadmap? Where are we going and how are we going to get there? Did anyone have any other thoughts on that?
I think seeing where the airport fits into the already in progress township master plan is probably a first step.
Okay.
Depending on timeline is my thought, but I have not seen the 2006 version of the airport master plan. Are you familiar with it?
I'm only aware of it having existed from, the website, making mention of it in previous notes, but beyond that,
It
I'm
would
aware
probably
of
be a
its
good practice
existence.
for us to do a review of that as well and see how much has changed or not changed since then. I don't think any of the Commerce Park side was even there back then.
This is true. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll take on,
It was it was.
It was there? Okay.
Yeah.
Probably not in the form it's in today, I imagine, though.
I think the addition would be Pirates Cove.
Okay.
Maybe the build-outs, the storage build-outs across the street. Other than that, yeah.
So maybe not too much different. Obviously, 1735 is a huge one, but yeah, we could review.
Yeah, I'll take on seeing if I can find a copy of the older one, and then the same thing too.
Well,
working
I'll
with the-
just email it over to you.
if you have it, okay, that's even better. We don't have to go digging.
Did you say on the Smith website there is
No, it would be the Gross Hills.
for the
Look
up,
on,
okay
yeah.
for the current one that's ongoing or the township?
The township. Look on the township,
Okay, all right.
because they'll have, and actually, I think Ross, he updates the DDA website, so you might want to look there to see if there's a schedule for that.
Yeah, maybe Mike, if you don't mind taking that on to see, for the township, and then the same thing, we'll work with the Commerce, Airport and Commerce Park Commission to see again, how this fits in, Josh, like you said, right? Because that's going to be the rudder that's going to guide everything.
Fairly critical, yeah.
Yep. Any other thoughts on that? All right. Moving on to number 7, MMRC. Janelle, I'm sorry,
Oh,
that
yeah, I
acronym
guess
escapes me.
So, because I added it on here. So in the past, we've struggled getting rental cars here.
Mhm.
So a couple of the GA airports, we had been working with the Mid-Michigan car rental place where they, if you give right now, they don't have any cars available probably until spring, but if we give a 24-hour notice, which we're working with the FBO, but I know that that's another intriguing thing for people when they come, because the courtesy car just only is a puddle jumper. So people fly in, they want to go to Detroit, let's just say go to the Fancy Lions game, they want a car that's dependable, they want a car that they can keep overnight and not just a car that they can, mosey around. So we'll be working with them. We just need to give them a 24-hour notice. We'll be putting that on the website as well. So kind of share the word, but the other thing with that is that island residents can use it, which is kind of neat, because obviously the more activity we get with this, the more cars that they'll be willing to leave here for us as well. So kind of a neat little program. And basically you walk up, it's an app on your phone. It'll unlock the car. You provide all the information. They handle all of it. They handle
That sounds good.
the contracts, insurance,
Could
validation of
deliver
driver's
it
license.
with 24 hours notice.
24-hour notice, that's it.
Yeah, that's really great. Typically, I think you guys would agree, most FBOs you go to, they limit the crew car to an hour, maybe 2 at the most, and it's a first come, first serve.
Correct.
So anyone coming in here for any type of business meeting or longer stay, certainly the access to rental cars, that'd be really nice.
So it's just something to add more attractiveness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
great.
So that should be good. And obviously we talked about the new website. And the taxiway is almost done. Thank goodness. The ribbon cutting is actually on Friday at 2 p.m. So it'll be open, the barrels will be gone, and it'll be moving and a shaking. So
Really? So that it's completely done, all barrels gone, and that's
so I'm sure you've all noticed, but we only have temporary markings right now until it's complete. Due to the weather, I don't think we'll have permanent markings probably until spring. So they'll come and put new markings on in the spring. I wouldn't anticipate them being done before that. I mean, hopeful, but
that's yeah.
But everything will at least be back open, no closed intersections or anything like that
Nope.
here after this week.
It's
That's
done.
great.
Yep. So I don't know.
Like to
I'm super
Ask
happy.
a question, has anybody used the new
Yeah,
taxiway?
I've been
Yes.
down it.
Yeah.
I fit.
How is it?
I fit barely.
You do fit though, right?
Yeah, it's no, it's good. If they would have gone to, I think the original 25-foot
25.
proposal, we would have choked this airport out.
Yeah.
So it works, and the new serpentine, the S to join the runway it's a little bit of a
Tight squeeze.
limited turn there. But I think the way that they offset the taxiway lights was nice because it does make it functional.
So, I don't know if you guys have flipped the lights on out there, but we're in the process of fixing the lights from Charlie up to Bravo, so.
I've noticed that, yeah, the lighting is improved there, seeing some, noticeable improvement. And like you said, yeah, with the taxiway there, I'm glad that you said that, because you were you're the envelope case for it. So I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
I mean, for my first thought getting on it was, wow, I'm real glad we didn't do the smaller taxiway. It would have, even a large twin engine piston airplane would have had trouble fitting on anything smaller. So, but no, it definitely works.
Good, okay. So, I think that's all I have to add.
The only thing I'll say on that is, again, it seems from the most of the GA flyers, myself, the student pilots, they seem to be adapting well to the, it's unfortunate that we had to lose the run-up area, but understood why, right? That was a lot of money to, put at that, to rehabilitate that, and while we wish we could have understood, it seems that generally the GA pilot community here is adapting well, using, say, the tarmac over here for the run-up area. It doesn't seem to be the problem that, again, there was a lot of fear that would cause problems, and it's still early yet, but it seems that folks are adapting. The instructors at halls seem to be instructing their student pilots on how to do it, and be courteous, not have planes pointing at each other. So that seems to be working out well, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can have it all. And a run-up area is nice, but I think
Yeah.
in the constraint of where could we place budget dollars at, certainly we're not backed up 3 airplanes deep doing run-ups here at Roseville.
That's a problem we look forward to having.
That'd be a great problem to
Yeah.
have, and we can address that then. But I think it's probably not that big
Agreed.
of a deal overall.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's what I'm just saying from the voice of the GA community. It seems to be working well, so I'm happy about that. All right.
All right.
That's the end of our discussion items. I don't think we have any committee member reports at this time. And so with that, we'll open it up for public comment and ask, do we have any public comments this evening?
You know, by agenda, I'm only limited to so much time. I just cover all the elements, or how do you want to do that?
3
Can't hear you.
minutes.
Yeah,
You
I'm a-
get 3 minutes.
Ron,
You have
if so,
I think
you'll need
you have
to,
to
yeah,
go to the podium
to the
and
podium.
state your name and address.
Yeah, I'd like to do it after. I've got a lot to discuss, but you guys can stay.
Yeah, I've got a few minutes.
Here's the problem I've got, people. I've been waiting for months and months to meet.
Ron, if you want to make a comment, could you step up so that way it can, thank you.
I'm hard of hearing and I can't hear you.
What's new? No, the reason I'm here tonight is that I was at a meeting almost a year ago. And subsequently, I've been trying to meet with this group month after month after month. And I see this is the first time we're in this situation where far as having a regular meeting. But it was the big issue is who to report to as far as the committee. What are the elements? How do we get things done? I've got a whole itinerary of things I want to discuss from a perspective of a tenant here. And also will affect the airport in great demand. But I guess that's my main concern. If this is the format and you're going to meet regularly, that's wonderful. But up till now, it's been a year. You know, who does this group report to?
We're an advisory committee, so there's no reporting to.
There's no reporting to anybody.
Our structure is to, again, the way that we're structured, to give advice to the airport manager.
Airport manager, or the commerce thing, or the board?
Airport manager.
The airport manager.
So we work through you, and then we have a presence at the commerce meetings if we make a presentation then, or how does that work?
You can make a presentation or you can do a public comment at either the Commerce Park or the board.
Okay, so the reason I was hesitant tonight even getting involved was because there has been no activity. And we're off and running. Josh is doing his thing, I'm doing our thing as far as halls. There's a lot of needs, a lot of things were raised tonight. We are experiencing them. We've got a list of things we'd like to see done. I think Janelle is being proactive on some things, but there's just this whole idea of not even knowing the master plan is overcoming to me. It's just crazy. So anyway, I look forward to getting with you guys off record.
Thanks. I do think that this is obviously the first format of this meeting, so I think this is a great place to bring up any comments. And I'm fairly confident this is a regular monthly meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually been very regular meetings, with the exception of the last couple months have fallen off the schedule for various reasons. But up until I would say spring, I think it was pretty much every month. I can't think of any that got skipped.
It just was not on camera.
Right. This is the first.
This is
our
the
first
first
this is our
formal
maiden voyage on camera.
meeting.
Here.
Don't feel bad, they finally stick me up here.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none. If anyone will motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, and with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.